East by 19 over Bayswater, Mulgrave by 22 over Eastfield, Muralbark by 14 over Scoresby, Waverley Blues by 12 over Doncaster, and Wanney South by 15 over Croydon.
Oh, wow, that's a big game. I think there was some Wantirna South love here pre-game from you, Raymond Baird. So only the first quarter, though, is not sure what we're waiting for a few stragglers just to get off the ground, which is always the way. One of the beauties of local footy. And the umpire eventually holds the ball aloft and we're ready to get underway here in the second term. It's Whale Buxton going up against Garner in the ruck. It's Rowville by 3 points on Saturday afternoon footy thanks to Pancake Parlour. Lovely, this is EFL game day. The ball's coming out from Vermont now. They've got the first hands on the footy here. Davidson under some tackling pressure, handballs in the Preto direction. He can't quite get a handle on it. McDonald's in there, Preto's in there again. There's plenty of players around this footy and waiting for the umpire to ball it up, but nothing doing. And eventually, it is the Vermont side who get it out through McCafferty. They go long inside forward 50. Running in the fair is Davis, gets the handball out. Now here comes a shot on goal for the Eagles. I think it's McConnell, and he goes to the goal square. How's it going to bounce? The wrong way, just to the right-hand side. So first score on the board to the Eagles here in the second term. They move to 3-8-26. Rowville 4-4-28.
Adam Parker once again extricating that ball into and creating another opportunity for Vermont.
Kinder goes in short to Burns in the back pocket. Right back pocket here for Rowville. That nice countryside, I'll call it. Is it long ball looking for Garner, but it's too wide. And the ball's out on the full.
We'll come back here in 10 years' time, Aaron, and all that view will be apartment buildings and you know what?
No, it
a
won't.
new estate.
I tell you it won't, because it's all Aboriginal land.
Preto goes inside 50 and a double grab. Is he going to pay it? He is. It's Lockie Johns.
Tough kick from there.
Johnsy could kick this goal. He's a beautiful kick of the ball.
Nice little sneaky inclusion by Vermont today, Lockie Johns.
Hard up against the boundary line.
Actually, I believe this is his first game in a while. He's been out injured as well. That's why he's not playing at Coburg.
Best and fairest of last year, of course, Lockie Johns.
Handy cricketer with Heatherdale too, isn't he, Dyson Baker?
Tight in the pocket. Johns called to play on. Doesn't matter. No, he's just... The goal umpire looked good there for a second, but it's gone to the right-hand side.
I haven't seen any Kangaroos yet. I'm disappointed.
You will see them about just after three-quarter time. You'll see them all running across the bike back there.
Something brewing here, boys. At one stage, the score was 4-4-28 to 3-2-20. Vermont have kicked 7 behinds in succession, which is not fantastic from them, and hopefully it doesn't come back to bite them. But Rowville, they've got the footy now, and they're working their way out of their defensive 50. Mark at half-back for the Hawks. On the far side here, comes back in ball to Burns. Kellen Burns was prolific early in that first term. He's got a player out wider again in front of us on the broadcast side. That's Zarjak. He goes back again from where it came from. So plenty of switching of the play happening here. Now finally they're in a little bit of space. It's Stapleton. Bouncing ball to half-back. This way, that way, low skimming left foot kick to Koenig is no good, but he's good enough to fix it. McDonald leading up from centre half forward. He's got a bit of everything, this kid. Long down to high half forward on the scoreboard side. Robertson has the front position, couldn't quite bring the ball down. At ground level, Roving was fantastic, and the kick inside forward 50. Not the hardest work that big Jared Hicks will ever have to do, just found himself in the right spot. And it's going to have a shot on goal from about 20 metres out, as good as directly in front, but his second of the afternoon, Rowville's 5th, and to extend the lead to 7 points.
That kick that went to Jared Hicks, mate, Spud Frawley, yeah, it was spot on.
Yep.
And makes no mistake, the big fella gets his second on the board. And for all the attacking Vermont have done, probably in the last 8 minutes of football, back into the first quarter and the start of this second term, Rowville go down the other end and get a goal. So
yeah, what Rowville did, though, Seymour, they, as you called it on your play, they switched probably 4 times across and back in front of the Vermont goal line until they eventually got an opening down that wing. So look, they're prepared to hang on to the ball, bide their time, and then hit a player who's on his own.
It's a good point you make. There's none of this rushing, and we've already switched it once. Now we have to go down the line. No. It probably shows how far this Rowville side have come in the last couple of years.
Ball back in the middle. Rowville in front here. Buxton, Garner though down. Emily immediately claimed.
No.
Whale Buxton needs a pair of new shorts. Looks like he's grown out of those ones. Back in the middle again. Garner again decisively. Ball out of the middle, though, for Rowville as it goes forward, and there's going to be a hold. Free kick to... Oh, it's against Kyle Staples. Damien Garner's going to get the free kick on the 50.
If he gets onto this, boys, he is a phenomenal kick. If he gets onto this, this will go through goalpost height.
Dyson Baker for the local Burger Co.
Yeah, just a couple of round-the-ground scores. Park Orchards by 12 over Templestowe. Heathmont by 4 over Veronia. South Belgrade by 2 over Whitehorse. Mitcham by 13 over Upper Gully. And the Basin by 8 over Ringwood.
Damien Garner, distance not an issue at all. This is to the left-hand side.
So right there, Ray. You got a fair chunk of it.
Not so much now, but 3 years ago, he could kick the ball a mile as a young kid.
Coldstream in Division 4 lead by 4 straight kicks over Donvale. Ferntree Gully led by 19 points at quarter time over Glen Waverley Hawks. Forest Hill led by 4 points. That's now Nuttawading leading by 3. And Kilsyth lead by 39 points over Surrey Park. Nothing from Sylvan and Warrandyte. No surprises there. Get your scores in, please.
Good work, Dyson Baker. All thanks to the local Burger Co, of course. The ball's at half back in the hands of Robert Hill from Rowville.
A good kick too, spot on.
Super kick, just on the other side of the cricket pitch. Finds that man, Damo Garner. He stands tall and takes a pretty good grab. Some good footy from Rowville being played here. The long kick inside 50 to a pack of players. And Robinson at the back of the pack. Oh, the mark not paid. What an absolute hang that was. And now the Vermont defenders are working hard to try and get this one out. It's not going to happen. Oh,
he did the hard part,
geez, that
didn't
was
he?
exciting.
I tell you what, Seymour, you only recognised him because of the fluoro boots.
Well, it certainly helps. It'd be nice if every player had a different colour to make my job a lot easier. Big thump out from Vermont. Goes to the hands of Koenig. It gets it to Garner. His right foot snapped from 40 metres out. Bounces on the goal line and goes through for their second goal of the quarter. 6-5-41 Rowville, 3-9-27 Vermont. Good footy from the Hawks, who just locked it inside their forward 50. And Damien Garner has had a big couple of minutes.
He has. He certainly had a lot to say in it since the first couple of minutes of the quarter.
Boundary.
Go down Boundary side. Thanks to Life Care. Esmond Aponzo.
The key messages from Peter Bastanek of Rowville was at a quarter time was keep up the pressure, keep up the intensity, and smart entries into the 50.
Fantastic stuff. That was
Rowville's height is really starting to worry that Vermont back line.
All back in the middle, 14-point lead to Rowville. Again, Garner decisively down.
That was poetry.
Ball spills out. Pack forms over the ball, out a secondary bounce right next to the circle.
Brash, we spoke about Adam's partner's brilliance in the centre, but Alex Frawley has also been quite good for Rowville. But Parker's certainly been the best.
Ball up again. Buxton again. Garner just too good in the ruck, getting his hand to it. Buxton, though, got the hand pass to Predo. Predo's hand pass wide. You're going to get it back here. Predo goes back to Buxton. Now to Deneen. Deneen goes back there, hand passing it around. It's going to work out. Vermont just need to get the ball inside 50. They're mucking around with Johnson. Goes back to Johns, back to Johnson. Johnson goes short and backwards.
Whale Buxton, by the way. You can't just drop off the first part of his name.
I apologise. I drop off one of mine all the time. Long kick to wing. Parker goes long, the half forward. Purdy stands underneath it, but misjudge it. Balls to the back to Mendes. This will suit his left foot if he can get onto it. He does, and he drills a little ball to Davis, who's let up at the football superbly well, and he's deep in the left forward pocket for Vermont.
I think Vermont really need to kick this goal, Ray, because Rowville have been all over them in the first 5 minutes of this quarter.
They have. They certainly have, Brash. But look, he leads well, this player, doesn't he, when he goes for the mark?
Yeah, but he leads to the boundary, and you're not going to get too many goals from there.
Mitch Davis, Vermont's leading goal kicker this season, and he's pushed that one to the right. They've missed a few this quarter to that right-hand side, Vermont. They close the gap, back to 13 points.
3 goals, 10 though. It doesn't make for good reading on the scoreboard. The Hawks, they've wasted no time in getting their ball outside the defensive 50 this afternoon. That kick up towards Ben Koenig just pitches in front of the boundary line and goes out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. He's had a good afternoon as well, Benny Koenig. I think, Ray, you mentioned him on the pre-game as one to have a look at.
He's a little Liberatore type player that's in and under, tough as nails, but only a young kid.
Liberatore, I hope he doesn't start gouging eyes and pulling on jumpers and things like that. He leads to the race in this footy, but he's just overrun it, and the Vermont midfielders are in and amongst it as well, so we're going to have another stoppage situation. Grant Campbell, thanks to Chewstap. You got any stats that matter so far in the first 9 minutes of this second quarter?
Not many exciting ones. Vermont leading contested ball 7-5. Uncontested possessions, they're leading 19-15.
Brash, one thing that Steve Cochran would be very disappointed in is that when Vermont kick a point, they don't zone up quick enough, do they? Rowville are quick to kick the ball in and get runners.
No, you're right there, Ray. Vermont are just very flat-footed at the moment and not thinking very clearly.
They've been great out of the stoppage situation as well. When Adam Parker doesn't get his hands on the ball for Vermont, it's Rowville that get the kick forward. That one was cut off by a good mark by Grant McCarthy, who led up to the footy well on Robinson. He goes out wide, and now they come back in board the Eagles. McConnon. Waste no time, gets the handball on. Now all of a sudden the ball's inside, 450 for the Eagles. In a one-on-one there is Davis, unable to take the mark, picked up by Burns. Handballs to a teammate in Hill, he's tackled straight away. Vermont have affected the turnover. The big kick towards goal is just to the right-hand side from Adam Parker. Oh, he cuts his way through traffic almost as good as anyone I've seen, Adam Parker. He just finds some space when no one else can do it. As Kevin Bartlett would say, he works well in a telephone box.
Vermont,
3 goals, 11, the Eagles.
Continue to miss. Short kick comes to Stapleton. 20 metres out from his own goal. Goes in short.
Smart kick.
Mark taken there by Ryan Hicks. Little chip over the top. Good lead up from Manuel. Still at left half back though, Rowville. Right in front of the Caravan.
See, Seymour, it's that style of play. They take their time until they hit up a target. There's nothing urgent about it.
Long kick to the wing. Terrific spoil by young Colin McCafferty. He knocks it out of bounds.
Another product from the Heatherdale Cricket Club, I believe. Colin McCafferty. His dad, Pat. Ex-teammate in G grade with Dawson Baker.
Ball thrown in again. No one got the tap there. Ball hit the ground first. Putting his head over it there was Johns. Umpires jump on him. They're going to have another bounce.
Look at Bernie Danone. He just still doesn't look out of place here in Division 1 footy. He's just coming back onto the ground. He hasn't had a big afternoon by his lofty standards, but he's the one player that, if he works his way back into it around the midfield, it's going to go a long way to Vermont getting back into the game. I mean, they're only out of the game at the moment because they can't kick straight.
It was an issue for them a little bit last year, Vermont, especially in the finals.
And they still, like as Soupy mentioned pre-game, they still get to kick 100 points so far in season 2015. And when you kick 3 goals, 11, it's probably going to go some way. Thanks to Life Care, Lockie Munro's boundary side.
Yeah, just the main points for Vermont in the second quarter. They're trying to maintain pressure on defence so they can run it in transition and create more space.
Ball thrown in again. All ruckman jump up. Emily got first hands of the ball. Was tackled to the ground there by Robinson. Nice hard tackling from both teams today.
Well, the thing is at the moment, the difference is that Vermont aren't getting an easy kick. Rowville's pressure on the ball carrier is immense at this part of the term. They are really pressing hard here, Rowville.
12 minutes gone in his second term. Give that one to Schoenmakers, who's gone in there. Going to be a free kick coming to Rowville. It's going to be Johns. Hand pass Robinson back to Johns. Almost got run down by Purdy from behind. But the kick's an absolute beauty.
I was lucky that he did get run down because it affected the kick. It means he kicked it to the space rather than to the player. And Damien Garner continuing his good form from earlier on in the quarter. He's gone some way in stamping Rowville's authority on this one with his work at half forward.
He certainly lifted his game in the second quarter.
Shown distance should not be an issue.
Right side for a right footer.
A long way out, right on the 50.
Just
goal. Eases it. Almost a 9-9. Straight through the middle. Damien Garner. Rowville extend their lead again. 7-5-47. Vermont 3-11-29.
The early celebration too, Raymond. Straight off the boot, he was up and about.
Yeah, and the boundary, the goal umpire did not move.
Vermont are lacking a forward, a centre forward. Matt Wilcox is not providing providing them with enough variety down there. He's getting run away from the ball. He seems to be running to all the wrong spots, and Vermont need him to start imposing his will on the game.
I tend to disagree with you, Brash. I think that when they do get forward, they look like they're able to manufacture scoring opportunities. It's at the other end. Grant McCarthy just not doing the job at centre half back for him at the moment.
True.
Too many marks being taken inside 50 for Rowville. And they're going inside 50 again. It's Lockie McDonald. There's 2 in a minute for the Hawks. That's a great finish from the young fella, and it was Garner involved again. He got the ball to him right out in front of the scoreboard. That's his second of the afternoon, and he is quite clearly the most influential player on the ground at the moment, the young fella Lockie McDonald. Great goal, great finish. The Hawks 8-5-53, the Eagles 3-11-29.
Rowville are asking all the questions of Vermont at this stage, Ray, and Vermont seem powerless to stop the Rowville run.
Grant Soupy Campbell, thanks to Choose-Tap Match Stats.
Hit-outs this quarter 11-2 in favour of Rowville, and they're on top in the clearances now 5-2 after losing the first quarter 15-7.
One of those versatile players, Seymour. Matty Robertson's been put into the midfield now. He was the player that got that last stoppage.
He spent the first half of the game in at centre-half back, went to centre-half forward, now he's in the middle.
Advantage paid, and Preto inside 50. Intercept mark taken, though, by Willoughby. Looks like he's going back in this second term. Kicks long to the wing. Contest between Johns and McCafferty. Johns got the ball at ground level. McCafferty went back in for the tackle, but he got it in his back. Free kick just inside the square, inside of the ground to Johns. Goes long to the danger spot, to that man again. Garner worked his way to the front beautifully. Spills out the back for Rowville. Barry Murphy, though, for Vermont, can mop it up. He kicks back. Mark taken by Davison. Right back pocket for Vermont. Front of Hamburger Hill. Davidson, not a lot to go to. Goes short. Finds McCarthy. He plays on. Almost runs himself in a bit of trouble. Short little kick to Perry. Joel Perry now in the left back pocket, goes along the line. It's a nice kick to Bernie. Bernie's little hand pass off.
First name basis. First
name basis with Bernie. Is a good kick by Barry Murphy to Davis, who's led up at the footy terrifically. He's a long way out, Davis. Decides to go long to the top of the goal square. Running back there. Styles went Robinson, jumped all over him, and that's going to cost a shot on goal. It was an amazing jump by Matty Robinson. Just didn't get a hand on the footy, and Styles is going to have a shot at goal from the goal square.
Too flashy, you think, Ray? Just trying to bite off a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't think it was necessary to go for the specky there. All he had to do was jump high enough to put a fist on it. He's playing as a defender if he's in the opposition's goal square.
Styles comes in, shouldn't miss this, doesn't miss. Vermont needed that one. 4:11:35 Vermont. They try Rowville 8:5:53. 16 minutes gone, second term.
Brash, I look at Vermont. Do you think that they're going too short and too wide? I'd like to see them go a little bit longer and a little bit more direct.
And that's exactly what I said. They're missing Wilcox being that lead up centre half forward, Ray. They've got no direction going down the spine.
We might have just got your wish, Wayne Brasher, as Wilcox comes back onto the ground. He's heading straight inside forward 50. Looks like he's playing on a high half forward role now, so that could suit the Eagles. In Matty Robertson's defence, he has taken the best mark I've ever seen in local footy out at South Court in about round 6 or 7 last year. So he's no stranger to getting on top of someone's shoulders and rolling down a big mark.
Yeah, but you've got to do the team thing. When it's in the opposition's goal square, you're a defender, you've got to punch the ball.
Yeah, spot on, I think, Ray. Is leading out to the race of this footy at half forward for Vermont is Mendez. A little fumble, but good enough to get the footy over. Now it's in the hands of Parker, who's at half forward, stops, has a little bit of a think, goes left foot to the top of the goal square. Wilcox is there, Watsley in from the side. Unable to take the mark, and through Robinson. The Hawks now will rebound this footy. Davey, back over to Kinder. Back to Burns, and now Robinson sells a little bit of candy. Long down the line in front of the interchange benches and just pitches inside and goes out of bounds right out in front of the Rowville bench as the supporters get very vocal out here at Seaback Oval. The lovely Rowville locals, Raymond.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with that, Seymour. They love their footy team no matter where you are in the eastern suburbs. Go local for your footy.
Oh, exactly right. Garner gets his way to the front of the pack in that ruck contest. 3 Vermont players at the fall of the balls. McCafferty gets the handball inboard. Plenty of numbers around this footy. Now they've got some space, but Watsley just chops it off. Now Robertson's got the ball for Rowville. Long inside 50, 2-on-1 in favour of Vermont, and taking a great mark there for the Eagles. I think it's McCarthy.
No, Perry.
Joel Perry it is. Goes out to centre wing. Mendez goes with the one hand just over the back of him. Stapleton will mop up for Rowville. Handball out wide. Back again. Now through Kinder. Inside 450 in the Damien Garner direction. It just eludes him. Staples manages to keep it alive for a fraction of a second, but eventually the boundary line does win out. We'll have a boundary throw in almost adjacent to the point post in the right forward pocket on the country end of the ground here at Seaback Oval.
We expected a ripper of a game at the start, boys, and it hasn't let us down. It's been a great contest so far.
It's been very exciting. 13 scoring shots to 15.
Ball thrown in. Rowville's forward pocket. Sharked at the contest. Good tackle there. Waiting for Vermont. Well, it looks like Styles as he picks himself up. Manuel dangerous around goal for Rowville. They're going to have a secondary bounce. 25 metres out, almost directly in front. Ball goes up, coming over the top. Little tap down by Hicks. Snap out of the pack by Manuel. Goes all the way across the face. It's going to bounce actually inside the field of play.
I thought it was going to bounce up on its point and go to Bolivia. It was just hanging out on the other side of the ground. Set play, you think, Ray?
Yeah, you'd hope so.
Might prefer the boundary thrown from this side of the ground, Rowville, as they get it. Tap down. Might have got a higher tackle there for Vermont. It was Davidson. I think no, Wadley it was. Wadley goes with the left foot. The switch is on. Vermont starting to move the footy a little bit better. Mark taken by Preto. Not a lot down the ground for Preto, so he brings it inside to Anson. Anson goes back to the defensive goal. It's got a Perry, but it's a shocking kick.
It's poor.
And they've conceded a boundary throw-in.
It's the sort of stuff you see in Division 3 and 4, isn't it, Brash?
That is totally unacceptable football at this level. It's abysmal.
That's what Brash is talking about. There's no centre-half forward leading up for an option there. That kick should be going to a centre-half forward. Boundary throw-in again. Rowville sharked the kick. Sharked out of there by Hicks.
Jared Hicks.
Jared Hicks has kicked a goal.
Number 3.
Number 3 for him. What a return it's been. And Rowville again get that important goal. They move on. 9-5-59. Lead Vermont. 4-11-35. 20 minutes gone.
Where's Jared Hicks playing? Centre-half forward. How many goals he kicked? 3.
To me,
he's actually playing full forward. They've got Damien Garner at centre-half forward. Well, but the two of them have worked really well, Brash.
To me, Ray, the two Garner boys, Hicks, show makers, the big men for Rowville.
Yep, the height, Paul, is killing them.
They're playing better footy than your Whale Buxtons and your Castricums and then those guys, your Wilcox, the taller guys for Vermont. When big men dominate a game of footy, it usually goes a long way to who gets the 4 points.
And the longer it goes, the better they're going to get too.
Ball.
Yeah.
Ball back in the middle.
You said, Brash, that Vermont hasn't got a centre-half forward. Do you think that you'd pull a bold move and maybe put Joel Perry there in the next quarter?
Well, they're going to have to try something. They need someone to lead up. Maybe Cam Purdy. Put him there.
Yeah, well, one of the two. I mean,
they've got to put some. They've got to try and generate some.
Perry's having a shocker down there. To me, I would throw him in a centre-half forward and just see what happens. You're not losing anything.
Whale Buxton gets a free kick in the centre and gets it to Johns. Almost falls in the lap of Mitch Davis. The defence from Rowville has just been resolute all afternoon, and their rebounding work has been absolutely sensational. The handball from Hills, ill-directed though. The pressure from the Eagles is here. Eventually the clearing kick comes up and onto the wing, and it's going to be an unlucky free kick against Grant McCarthy. Out of bounds on the full. It's going to go the way of Damien Garner. The score here is 9-5-59 Rowville, 4-11-35 Vermont. Just their effects mic just doing some real sharp work out into the broadcast here. You can hear the umpire. You heard the call. Garner came inside the boundary line, sold a bit of candy, goes long out in front of the interchange gates. It bounces over a couple of players and out of bounds for another boundary throw-in just in front of Hamburger Hill there, Aaron Kirkby.
Brash, I hate to harp on it, but I was just watching Joel Perry and Jared Hicks there when Damien Garner was given the ball. Jared Hicks sprinted back to the goal square. I know the ball was 100 metres away, but Joel Perry, he looked like he was struggling to get back there.
Yeah, exactly.
Ball thrown in. Johns gets the clearing kick, but it goes to nobody. Mark taking in the circle by Allen for Rowville. Kicks over the top to Callum Burns. Gutsy. Takes a terrific mark.
Callum Burns has been good.
Gutsy.
Yep. Callum Burns has been good today.
Probably 55 metres if it's a 45 circle. He's going to back himself, Callum Burns.
One of the key differences is when Rowville go forward, they look like they're going to score. When Vermont go forward, you don't know whether it's going to be a box of chocolates or not.
It's a quick kick out of the pack at the moment from Vermont. Rowville looking for that hand pass out the back to use it a little bit better.
It's the turnover to Allen, and the kick to Burns wasn't that flash, but the gutsy mark running back at the flight of the ball, it's just pure football.
Callum Burns comes in. Looks like distance might be an issue. It's going to fall. Garner had front spot. Anson just ran it over the line there for one behind to Rowville. They hit 60.
Just on Callum Burns, look, he's a player that stood up this year. He had a couple of years at Oakley Chargers. He's come back to the club last season. He had an all-right season, but this season he's been a much improved player.
This afternoon, he's been certainly one of Rowville's best in the clinches. A free kick's going to go the way of Staples for a bit of holding on centre wing. The umpire's paid advantage, and the Eagles are on the charge. Preto held up, wrapped down in the tackle, but got the umpire. There's paid a free kick to Vermont again, and it's advantage paid. McCarthy far too slow, run down by Damien Garner.
How pleasing is that to a coach when your big men are running players down?
Followed his man down the ground, and now he takes off with the footy under his arm. 3 bounces down the middle of Seabeck Oval. He's got McDonald inside forward 50, but coming back well with the flight of the ball is Sam Anson and punches it out of bounds. Exhilarating football, a couple of free kicks. McCarthy, an uncontested shot on goal, turned into a free kick against from the chase from Garner, and then back down the other end in the blink of an eye. We're being treated to a spectacle here this afternoon, Raymond Baird.
Damien Garner came back. He went to Frankston last year, had a year at Frankston. He's come back, and I believe he's a far more mature player now.
Certainly having an impact this afternoon. Johns gets the ball out for Vermont. free kick in front of the scoreboard, which currently has the Rowville Footy Club leading by 25 points in the shadows of half-time. 24.5 minutes gone here in the second term at Seabeck Oval.
Vermont got it at half-back. It's Parker.
So they're being forced wide. No one's leading. It's very stagnant here for Vermont.
Here comes Wilcox up. It doesn't get to him at his bootlaces. Going in hard there. For Vermont was Barry Murphy. All just sort of rolling along the ground. Doing well. The kick out of there came for Vermont. Davis leads up at the football. And bent down. At the bottom of the pack was Styles. Chance for Styles on the left foot, but he's just missed. To the left-hand side. Another behind to Vermont. 12-36.
I think there may come a time where I think I said to Steve Cochran that they needed someone at centre-half forward. Now here's his chance. I think it might be time to put Kyle Staples at centre-half forward and give him an option. He can kick goals.
They got to do something, Brash.
So overstepped the kick in again. Different player this time.
Troy Allen that time, boys.
Troy Allen that time.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in the game of footy for weeks, and I've seen two already in the first half here. Wilcox goes up for the Eagles, gets the ball down in the path of McConnell, but Frawley barges his way through, kicks to centre-half back on the head of Koenig. He gets the punch down. Robinson picks up for the Hawks, gets slapped across the chops by Adam Parker, takes the free kick, kicks out to centre wing. Now the Hawks, they're going forward through Aaron Johns. Run down in the tackle, but he's good enough to find Dion Boavita. The excitement machine.
He's the player that needs to step up, though. He hasn't done much today.
Once he matures enough to get his 15, 20 touches a game, he's the sort of person that when he gets the footy, he's going to have an impact. And the short, stabbing ball finds a teammate.
Brash, once again we saw that pattern. Rowville ran it out of the back line. They had, every time they got the ball, they had 2 or 3 options and teammates to give it to.
Yeah, you're right, Ray. And, you know, look, they're really stretching Vermont across every single line of the ground. Vermont just cannot find any critical ways through to goal.
So uncontested shot on goal here. Their Boavita kick found a teammate right on the paint of 50. He's going to go back and back himself. Long kick. It doesn't look like it's going to have the legs. It just does and pushes it to the right-hand side. So there's a minor score for the Hawks. 9-7-61, 4-12-36. The Eagles, 26.5 minutes gone here in the second quarter.
Vermont bring it in quickly. Chance for Mendez. Little chip over the top, leading up at the football. That's what you wanted. Brash. It's Joel Perry. That's that kick they need. Perry's kick's another beauty to Staples, who looks like he's gone to that centre-half forward position. Kyle Staples just forward to centre. Chip over the top. They're going along the boundary again, though. Mark taken. There's Wadley. He can go bang inside the 50. Looking for Davis. Kick's going to go over his head. He just
to the pocket again, Ray.
Player down. It doesn't look like he's moved too well.
Led to the pocket again, Mitch Davis.
Yep.
Problem is, that's where the ball's coming from. We'll try and get some space maybe over the back to allow him to lead straight up the ground. Ball to be thrown in. Forward pocket for Vermont. Wilcox will do the ruck work against Schoenmakers. Rowville found the way out of the pack beautifully well. Allen's little hand pass. And well, Garner. Running through was Frawley. Kicks a left football out. Sitting underneath it was Castricum. Spoil from Vermont, but it's all Rowville. Stapleton rows it. Takes a bounce. He's centre wing. Not a lot to go to ahead. Leading back in the race is Johnson. For Vermont, the captain, new captain this year, does well, takes on his man, gets a little hand pass out. Picked up Castricum, just dropped the ball in the end.
Lucky.
Boavita picks it up. Chance here for Rowville. Boavita goes to the top of the square. Garner in best position for Rowville. Couldn't mark and ball's rushed over the line for one behind.
Used the body nicely on McCarthy, though.
Terrific game. Rowville skipping away here.
They've busted it open here in this second term.
Yep.
9-8-62 plays 4-12-36. 26-point margin here in favour of the home side. The
Robinson.
kick in straight to the arms of Robinson, who had the front position at centre wing. Takes a great mark standing up tall. The fluoro boots of Matty Robinson. He's an absolute star in Division 1 here in the Eastern Football League. His kick just had too much on it. Wadley picks up the ball, gets around a couple of tacklers. His handball to Deneen's an absolute shocker, but he's got Parker in support. Deneen keeps the ball going forward. Now the Eagles look like they're going to manufacture something here, but the kick inside forward 50 is absolutely spot on. And Mitch Davis again, I dare say that's his 5th mark inside of 50 for the afternoon. So he's having a great day up forward for the Eagles. He's going to go back and try and put through just his 2nd goal of the afternoon, and there's the half-time siren. So a big kick, Mitch Davis, to cut the margin back to 20 points at the main break. It's about 30 metres out on a 45-degree angle. A good footballer will put this one straight through the middle, and that's exactly what Mitch Davis is, and Mitch Davis does. There's a great way to end the first half for the Vermont side. 9-8-62 Rowville, 5-12-42 the Hawks. Half time here at the Ray Baird Memorial Oval. Back to Big Bad Barry Cotts in the radio.